Hey, how's it going? So, a while back, Daniel from Texas Trebuchet sent us or hooked us up with a bunch of springs and cables. I think they're 140 pound rated. I don't see it right offhand now, but I believe they were 140 pound. And we have a bunch of them. There's like 30 of them. We have 2 boxes full. I mean, there's just bunches and bunches of them. So, I think there's like 27 or 30 of them, and I already had a couple of them. But, you can see how big those are. They're a little over 2 feet long. 140 pound, I think. So my plan for World Championships this year is I'm going to run the whipper, the 15-foot whipper, and the ballista. That's my plan. But I'm probably going to have to throw 8 to 10 pounders for it to count in Illinois. So the plan was to run about 1,500 pounds on this machine, and I think we're at 700. Yeah, we ran 700 on it at Route 66. So we're like halfway there, and we're at over 1,200 feet. We launched a little smaller pumpkin. It was probably a 3-pounder, and I'm pretty sure that was over 1,500 feet. But that one was a 4.5 pounder. And so yeah, it was 315 feet per second. So I was cool with that. I was happy. But now I want more out of it. I want to go ahead and run it hard. So my plan is, this is a single 2x6 in the corners, our corner post. So what I want to do is I want to take another 2x6, and I want to machine the end of this and run it up underneath the headstocks, and then down along here like that, and it'll sit on the frame right here, and it'll have to have a real steep cut on it, and it'll go down into this slot, and I'll through bolt it. I'm gonna have to through bolt the other stuff too to pass the WCP CE's World Championship Pumpkin Chunkin Association rules. So I'll have to run some through bolts in these locations. Probably all the joints will need at least a single through bolt. Not a problem. So I'm gonna run in these corners. I'm gonna run this up, machine that, and run it up underneath there, and run it down that post, and tie it in down here. It'll probably get some of these construction screws in there, but again, for WCPCA rules, I'll end up doing a metal L bracket in here and running some bolts through that. but it'll be plenty strong. I have access to about 1,500 pounds of counterweight from a friend of mine. It's just, you know, what do they call it? Olympic, the 2-inch weight bar. Weights, the 2-inch holes in just regular weights, like that right there. That's what we run, and run it on pipe. So that'll make it a lot stronger, and we're gonna run that 1,500 pounds. And I did the spring whipper. I did that a couple of videos running our baby whipper, our little 5-foot whipper or whatever it is, pretty small, with springs on it. So I can do that with this machine exactly the same way. And I don't know, I have 3,000 pounds of spring power. My thought was, I have the primary winch that cocks the arm in and cocks everything into position. Then I'll set up a secondary winching system to cock the springs, and let's max this thing out and see what we can get out of it. I'll probably not run 3,000 pounds of spring, but you know, I could see myself running an additional 1,000 pounds on it. That's doable. The axle's gonna take it. The rolling axles and rims, they'll take that. The machine will take that. That's a big beam in there. That's, you know, that's a 4x6. It's all 2x6, 2x8 construction. That thing is stronger than you think it is. So that's the plan. Take it out over 2,000 feet. That's the plan. We're going for 2,000, and a 10-pounder timber whipper. It did 1,500 at about half the design for counterweight. Where am I going to come up with all that weight? I was borrowing a little bit of weight from Corey Winsberg and Colossal Thunder. They made me some plates. Timber whipper is gonna get, I'm gonna use the same arm system, but it's gonna get the trapezium frame just like the rest of them. That's the way to go. The narrow head space, narrow axle, take it more into shear. I bent the axle on that one. I actually bent it, so I know what that axle would not have taken where I was going with it. At that width, it was 4 foot. It's 4 foot axle. It was probably supported out to, I don't know, 3 feet or something. But that we're upgrading that frame. That'll be next year. It might even get doubled. I can make that arm longer. That can happen. Use the what was it, Chucky 2 folding. It had that frame that the top folded over on. I can do the same thing with the rolling whippers, and have already started drawing it up. And I can only get it out to about 16 foot axle height with a 10 foot wide frame. going with the 15-degree lean on the side, but if I change it 2 degrees, if I go to 13, I can take it up to about 22 feet, which that'll be a really large machine. Fold, you know, it just folds over, the top folds over. Leave the axles assembly in place and just roll the top over on a hinge. I've already designed the mechanism and everything, so that's gonna happen easily. Breaking 4,000 feet, running at 200 arms, over 5,000 feet, running at 250 arms. That's doable. Probably going to be 400-to-1 mass ratio or something, but it's doable. So that's my plan for next year, is to be running 100% scaled up timber whipper. That's going to be a big build. But for this year, let's run this thing wide open with some spring assistance. I'm not sure what class it's going to run if I do that. If it will be under the catapult, or will it be under a trebuchet? I'll have to ask Frank or Matt, somebody about that. Stay tuned.